Good morning, my dear students. Hope you are all safe and sound. Our today's lesson is Comparatives and Superlatives, as presented in your flipped classroom assignment. The objectives of our lesson are: first, identify what comparatives and superlatives are. In addition, recall the spelling rules of the comparatives and superlatives and their exceptions. Finally, use comparatives and superlatives correctly in sentences. After watching the flipped class video, how can we describe Elsa? Elsa is a pretty girl. So, pretty here is an adjective. We can define the adjective as a word which describes or gives more information about a noun or a pronoun. For example, a beautiful flower or a big house. Then later, if we want to compare between Elsa's dress and Anne's dress, we are going to say Elsa's dress is prettier than Anne's dress. Here we compare between two things or two nouns, so we call it a comparative adjective. But if we want to describe the ice palace, we can say the ice palace is the most beautiful palace ever. Here we compare the palace to other ones, so we compare one noun to more than one, so we use the superlative form. Let's discuss the different forms of comparative and superlative adjectives. First, one-syllable adjectives or the short adjectives. Here we use the adjective, then add er plus than in the comparative form. For example, long will be longer than, while in the superlative form we add the adjective plus est. So it will be the longest. Also, we have dark, darker than, the darkest, tall, taller than, the tallest. What about one-syllable adjective ending in E? We use the adjective, then add or only, plus than in the comparative form. For example, large will be larger than, while in the superlative form, we add the plus the adjective plus st. So it will be the largest. We also have wise, wiser than, the wisest, simple, simpler than, the simplest. Let's move to adjectives ending with y. We replace y with ier in the comparative form, as pretty will be prettier than, while in the superlative form, replace y with iest, so it will be the prettiest. Also, we can say easy, easier than, the easiest, happy, happier than, the happiest. As for the long adjective with three or more syllables, we add more plus the adjective plus than in the comparative form, as in creative, it will be more creative than, while in the superlative form, it will be the most creative. Also, we have beautiful, more beautiful than, the most beautiful, interesting, more interesting than, the most interesting. Let's talk about adjectives with one vowel plus one consonant. We double the last letter and add er to form the comparative adjective, as hot will be hotter than, while in the superlative form, we double the last letter and add est to form the superlative adjective, so it will be the hottest. Also, we have fat, fatter than, the fattest, thin, thinner than, the thinnest. Take care, we have some irregular adjectives that do not follow any of the previous rules, so we have to study them. Good, better than, the best. Bad, worse than, the worst. Little, less than, the least. Many or much, more than, the most. Far, farther than or further than, the farthest or the furthest. Let's start practicing. Look at the picture. How can we compare between the girl and her brother using old? I'm older than my brother. Here we compare between two persons, so we will use comparative adjective. What about comparing the third player to other players using tall? The third player is the tallest. Here we compare one person to more than one person, so we will use the superlative adjective. Let's compare between the fire and the candle using hot. The fire is hotter than the candle. Here we double the last letter and add er plus than to form the comparative adjective. Let's move to another example. If we compare the rose to other kinds of flowers in the garden using pretty, so we will say, the rose is the prettiest of all flowers in the garden. Here we add the plus the adjective and then replace the y to be iest to form the superlative adjective. Let's compare this student to other students in the class using intelligent. He is the most intelligent student in the class. Here we use the superlative adjective. Finally, there are other forms of comparison. Here we use as to show similarity. If we look at the two houses, we will find that both of them are the same and equal. So we will say, our house is as big as yours. Take care that whenever we use as, we use the adjective in between in the base form. But if we compare between the lion and the mouse using strong, you will find that the mouse isn't as strong as the lion. Therefore, we use as to say that things are equal, and we use not plus as plus the adjective plus as to say that things are unequal or different. Thank you for listening and goodbye.